To be playing Sega Genesis with bros. Now I'm gaming with some folks on the other side the globe. Used to go through a label if you trying to blow. Now people got more.
Welcome to 3 Count Commentaries. We're going to be talking about Impact today. And it was a show. It occurred. It was a thing. But I will say this. Swingers Dungeon already off to a fantastic start. I love Swingers Dungeon already. It's already the best thing on this show. I can't wait to talk about it. Okay, first, the Bullet Club, which means Chris Bay and Jay White, were defeated by the Motor City Machine Guns. It was an okay match. Chris Bay took the pin, which, I kind of figured that was going to happen. You're not going to beat Jay White, and the Motor City Machine Guns weren't going to lose. It was a solid match, nothing to hate. I always liked Motor City Machine Guns together. I liked them more in recent years than I did during their heyday. I absolutely could not stand Motor City Machine Guns. What was this? When did they start having those matches with the Generation Me version of the Young Bucks? Was this, I don't know what that was, but they were having some absolutely awful matches. It looked just like the shit the Young Bucks do today. They were terrible. But I did start liking the Motor City Machine Guns. I think over time, they kind of became a proper tag team and not just a bunch of spot monkeys. But the Young Bucks, I guess the success they found as Generation Me doing all that stuff with the Motor City Machine Guns basically just took them to the next level, and they decided we're just going to do that everywhere because working as an actual tag team, you can forget about it. Steve Maclin defeated Rhino in the next match. Anthony Corelli was on commentary. I don't know what he's there for. Still have no idea. He still looks weird, like a mob boss. But he's actually talking without the gimmick. So I'm interested in seeing what he's hanging around for. Rhino and Heath later had a conversation. Rhino was very upset that he lost to Maclin. Heath was disappointed in his loss to Maclin, but he also lost to Moose. So he said, look, this solo thing isn't working. We promised each other that we become tag team champions and we're better together. And that they agreed to then become a tag team and go after the tag team titles again. I didn't know they were officially broken up. I thought they were still a tag team, but okay, now they're back to being a tag team. Caleb with a K is hanging out with the Inspiration. The Inspiration forgive Caleb for screwing up and costing them the tag team titles because they know he was really trying to help them. He didn't really have much to say, and they're really kind of going all in on this whole Caleb with the K leaving the Influence and joining the Inspiration gimmick. Not sure that we need him, but okay, he's there, I guess. Larry D was defeated by Gujar. I guess his name is Bhupinder, whatever. Brian Myers is on commentary for absolutely no reason. Raj Singh, I wrote his name down because they actually said it. He comes to ringside to cheer for Gujar. Gujar wins the match. Gujar then gets in the ring to Raj Singh gets in the ring to congratulate Gujar. They get into it. They shove one another, or Gujar shoves Singh to the ground. Morrissey comes out there again to scare off Brian Myers. I don't understand why they're beefing. I know it has something to do with Brian Myers and his group of guys, but I thought this was over. Like, after you destroyed these dudes 9-on-1, why are you still feuding with them? I don't know. I don't know what's going on or why Morrissey's still doing this. Anyway, after Gujar shoved Singh, he rolled out of the ring. Morrissey was there and was able to powerbomb Singh. I think he's powerbombed him through a table. Very interesting. Riveting stuff. Speedball Mike Bailey is doing, he's meditating or something, and Ace Austin comes in there running his lips, saying that he wouldn't be upset if Mike Bailey qualified for the X Division title, and thinks that Mike Bailey will have his back if he does, and that he'll become a 3-time X Division champion. To which Mike Bailey boops his nose with his finger and says, yes, one of us surely will win. And Ace Austin was, of course, a little bit perturbed by that because he's like, he's kind of saying he's going to win. Mike Bailey just comes across as very bland. He's a very bland dude. I don't know more. Cut a promo. They welcomed Josh Alexander back. Kenny King told him to sleep with one eye open. Then Matt Taven said that they obviously living under some code of honor because when he got sent home, he actually listened. When they got sent home, they didn't. They came back anyway. This promo was interrupted by Alicia Edwards flapping her gums to get into the face of Eddie Edwards. And Eddie was told to control his girl. Get his girl under control. Alicia and Eddie started getting into a debate, to which Alicia says that she accepted Impact over Honor No More, and that he's going down the wrong path, and it's not too late for him to turn around and change course. And then Eddie Edwards dropped a very, very dramatic line that maybe Impact's going the wrong way. Dun dun dun. Maybe. I don't know. There's some evidence that it might be. So the fourth match, Giselle Shaw, Lady Frost, and Deonna Purrazzo in the Triple Threat Champ Challenge. Giselle Shaw's music actually fits the character. I got to give him credit for that. Deonna Purrazzo pins Lady Frost with the Queen's Gambit, which is a package power driver, to win the match. So she beat both of them. Okay, whatever. I kind of expected that, but I don't know where we're going. Where we're going with the Champ Challenge now. Speaking of which, Deonna Purrazzo did do a sort of Q&A where she says she doesn't know where her place is in the new Ring of Honor in terms of now that Tony Khan has bought the company. She has no idea what they're going to do. So I said, well, that must suck. That must really be not good. I know Jonathan Gresham says that he's pretty much ready to sign back on. He's willing to work with Tony Khan. Now, maybe Deonna Purrazzo is too, but it also depends on what kind of organization Tony Khan is going to be running and what his general ideas for Ring of Honor will be. And we know that Tony Khan intends to continue booking Ring of Honor. He's going to book the Supercard of Honor, the return show. So he may actually rejigger the card, because it was supposed to be Gresham versus Bandito to come up with who is the real world champion. Now, who knows? Because of all the people talking about this, Bandito ain't one of them. So, unless he's talking about it to people in Spanish, I don't have no insight to what Bandito might be thinking in this whole thing. But Jonathan Gresham says he's pretty much ready to go back. If they're going to be what he thinks, that if you're going to keep the original idea of Ring of Honor, he wants to be there. And Deonna Purrazzo is just up in the air. And the Briscoes kind of are up in the air too. And they're the champions. Those are the three champions right there. So that ought to be interesting. Josh Alexander says that it's about time for him to do what he does and make an example of Mike Taven, and that Rebellion Moose's time is up. Speaking of which, we get to the main event, which is Josh Alexander versus Matt Taven. This was actually a solid match. It was okay. Josh Alexander wins with the C4 spike. Maria was on commentary, bopping her gums. Honor No More seems to lose every singles match that they're in, which is not telling of the group. That means they win these group matches, but they always lose singles matches. I think this feud has lost a lot of its luster too. Remember, this was the feud that was this and Mickie James being in WWE was actually Bowie. Was the Bowie is Bowie. That's the right word. But I'm trying to look at it was floating. Let's say Impact in terms of ratings and attention for a while, and then the Mickie James thing kind of was over. It came and went, and now the Honor No More thing has kind of, we don't know where it goes now, considering there has been they're not really moving forward. The hamster's on a wheel now. It's like they're not really invaders anymore because now they're regular parts of the roster. So, where are we going here? What more can we do? It's like, have you proved your point? What is your point? But the interesting thing, and this kind of saved the show, one of the two things that saved the show, is that Moose was supposed to deliver the contract by the end of the show. So at the very, very end, we get a video of Moose pulling up to a house where he drops off the signed championship contract, and he drops it off to Josh Alexander's wife. And I was like, oh, that's brutal. That's brutal. Now, this is really good because it was Scott D'Amore who told Moose where Josh Alexander lived. He said, he stays right down the street from the Anthem offices. And so Moose was like, oh, really? So, I'm pretty sure there's more than one house on that block, but, he pretty much figured it out. You told me the general area, I can do the rest. So Moose finds the house and he goes in there and intimidates Josh Alexander's wife because he says, "Hi, I was supposed to deliver this contract by the time Anthem closed, but it seems that Anthem is already closing. So I was going to drop this off to you and you deliver it to them in the morning." And then the little boy is hiding behind his mommy and Moose kneels down on the little boy and says, yeah, I was like, oh, this is creepy. I like it. I like this. This is completely rude and screwed up. I like it. I love this. That's good shit right there. That's good shit. More Moose intimidating Josh Alexander's family. I like that. Back to the show, though. Tasha Steelz attacked Mickie James during one of Mickie James's performances. She was actually singing at a bar. It looked like she was singing in a closet because it was very tight in there. And Mickie James, Tasha Steelz attacked her while wearing a hoodie. So it looked like she had gotten mugged. So after that, we get sent to a backstage promo between Mickie James and Chelsea Green. Mickie says that Tasha keeps crossing the line. Now she needs that ass whooping that her mama should have gave her. And then the next match will be Mickey's return match. And it will be a street fight. To which Chelsea Green interrupts and says, hey, look, you with no rules means Tasha with no rules. And we know Savannah Evans is going to be out there. I want to help. Mickie James said no, that Chelsea Green is injured. And she was worried about Chelsea. And she doesn't want Chelsea re-injuring her wrist to be on her. So the answer is no. She's going to fight these two by herself. Now I'm thinking now has got to be the time for Chelsea Green to turn heel, right? Now we're going to have Chelsea come out there and attack Mickie and cost Mickie the match, right? That's what should happen. I didn't read the spoilers, didn't look at the spoilers, but that's feeling like what should happen, right? That Chelsea Green is going to cost Mickie this match. Now, Mickie could always lose. It's going to be 2-on-1. But something tells me she's going to get very, very close, and then Chelsea Green is going to screw her over. It seems like we're kind of just waiting for that shoe to fall. Masha Slamovich defeated Brie. So Masha Slamovich just winning matches, and they really don't mean much of anything. Zicky Dice. This is great. Zicky Dice, who had been beaten by Jonah earlier in the night, he got squashed, really. After this match, PCO returned on a stretcher, to which after the attendants leave, he woke up from the stretcher while still wearing a neck brace. He is alive. They didn't do his theme song, which is what I thought they would have done. His theme song that he was using in Ring of Honor. That's, I guess, his personal theme song that was made by Jim Johnston, the creator and music director of WWE in the past when the music was actually good. Instead, they use his Honor No More thing, which, is significantly less good. They get in the ring and they brawl with PCO fighting Jonah off. But it was a cool moment. It was okay. I would have liked for them to have do it the way that I envisioned, which is because, they got the PCS would be like Frankenstein. And that's what the theme song does, with the electricity and everything, and he just kind of vibrates and then he'll sit up. That's kind of what I was expected it, that he would be brought to the ramp and then it would be like, it's alive, and PCO would, as the music was he would, be electrocuted and then he would sit up like Frankenstein. That would have been sweet. But the way they did it was okay, I guess. But Zicky Dice is the focus here. So Zicky Dice does a backstage promo later in the show saying that he's been losing a lot. But most importantly, he lost his pride. And that he has everything it takes to be a pro wrestler. He has charisma, he has character, he has a connection with the crowd. He's just not good at wrestling. He's just not a good wrestler. He says, maybe I need to go to some type of, and he talks about a factory or a performance school or something. And she was like, Gia Miller was like, maybe you just need a wrestling school. And he's like, yes, I need to go learn from a wrestling school. And he talks about, obviously, that Brian Myers was supposed to teach him, but he got cut before he actually learned anything. So he never learned how to wrestle from Brian Myers. So he needs to turn to a wrestling school. And the moment that scene ends, the first thing you see is Johnny fucking Swinger. doing a commercial for Swingers Dungeon. It is fantastic. I've started Swingers Dungeon. Every time they say Swingers Dungeon, is a whip like whoosh. So you're getting the idea already that they're up to no good with this Swingers Dungeon thing. So Swinger says, if you want to be like the legendary Gorgeous George or her boyfriend Macho Man, did come down to Johnny Swingers Dungeon. So then he has a list of guest trainers that have come through Swingers Dungeon, which includes Bruce Georgia and Keith Hart, Dr. D. David Schultz, Tony Chilmore and Leo Burke. Tony Chilmore is a fucking comic. He's a ring announcer. Anyway, so he says that, don't take my word for it, Daddy, and he tosses it over to Lance Storm, who says in the most bland way possible, I have never been to Swingers Dungeon, and I do not endorse Swingers Dungeon. And Swinger takes that as a rousing endorsement, like, ha, hell yeah, Daddy. So Swingers Dungeon is full of Mizarks already. He's already got a ton of students, and he says this is really popular with the intergender tag teams. And we get a Mike Davidson and Bunny. Mike Davidson looks like Pete Davidson, the boyfriend of Kim Kardashian. And I only know this because I seen that crap on Twitter. It's popped up on Twitter everywhere. So, and they're basically nude, man. It's so hilarious. So one guy walks past Johnny Swinger and gives him an old sportsman slap on the butt. And Stringer's like, whoa, that's pretty stiff, Daddy. And then he says that all of his students are basically demolition Mizarks. So he's running a sex club. It is a sex club masquerading as a wrestling school. It is a sex club masquerading as a wrestling school. And he's so stupid, he doesn't know that it's a sex club. This shit is awesome. This shit rules. Now, the funniest thing here is this was a parody of the Austin Idol Universal Wrestling College skits from the NWA. Now, if you've been watching NWA Power, you've seen that they continually run these commercials of Austin Idol's Universal Wrestling College. And it sounds almost just like this, so it's hilarious. And Johnny Swinger called himself a successful professional wrestler. But this is another thing that kind of lets you know, not only did the whip every time you say Swingers Dungeon, there's that whip crack, but when his name comes at the bottom of the screen, it's like a profile from a dating website. It's like Johnny Swinger, then it has his age, which is 27. There's no way this guy's 27. It's like age 27, his sex is male, and then it says it's complicated, which is supposed to be like his relationship status. So you get like you get these teases all throughout the vignette until the very end, where you see people literally in like bondage masks and stuff. It is fantastic. This was the best shit on the show. This is great stuff. Swingers Dungeon fucking rules already. And look, Zicky Dice is trash, but once they get involved in this, it might actually be fun. If we can get some people involved with Swingers Dungeon, and it's just BDSM, skin tight suits and people in leather masks and all that kind of shit, and it's basically a sex club, but he's too stupid to know that. Oh, this could be so much fun. This could be so much fun. I love this. I love this like nothing else. This shit is great. This is the kind of stuff you could use to push the envelope in pro wrestling. This is good stuff. The last thing is that the Good Brothers wanted their rematch with Violent by Design, to which Scott D'Amore agrees, but he makes the match a lumberjack match, which the Good Brothers doesn't like that, and then said that the Rebellion match will be an 8-team elimination challenge, which sounds like a gauntlet, and that doesn't sound good at all. Alright, so Impact was a mediocre show, as usual. Some good wrestling if you like the wrestling. It's good. The Bullet Club versus Machine Guns wasn't bad, and the main event wasn't bad. But the stories were not really present. I did like Moose invading the home of Josh Alexander. I love that, especially considering The reason he did it was, in order to beat the deadline that was given to him by Scott D'Amore. And he's kind of felt like this was the only way to do it. Kind of made an excuse for doing it. And the Swingers Dungeon stuff is phenomenal. It's fantastic. If you just want to watch that, it's like a minute, 2 minutes. And it's easily the best thing on the show. It's in terms of humor, storytelling, it's really good. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Like, share, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys later.